1800 kilometer in net minder as 14 dae is die veeleisende taak wat op die 65 jaars in die 1993 Momentum Rapport toer wag. Baie welkom by die toer, die 20ste sedert 1973 en vanjaar ten volle internasionaal met 65 jaars waarvan 9 spanne buitelandse spanne is. Daar is 14 skofte in vanjaar se toer, 30 bergpremies en 30 sneldele. Die eerste 5 dae is die jaars redelik plat wanneer hulle in die Vrystaat inbeweeg. Op die 6de dag 'n effense klim oor die Drakensberge in Natal in. Daarna 'n effense daling die laaste paar dae van die week wanneer die jaars in Natal inbeweeg. Die tweede jaar geweldig op die tweede week, althans baie veel eisend op die jaars en die wenner van vanjaar se toer sal waarskynlik uit die week uit bepaal word. Daar is 'n geweldige klim op na Longtom Pass in die Oos-Transvaal toe wat geweldig baie krag en energie uit die jaars uit gaan tap. Daar is ook in totaal 19 bergpremies in die tweede week van vanjaar se toer. CCW gaan oor die volgende 2 weke al die drama, die spanning, die teleurstelling en die vreugde van die toer aan u bring. Myself, David van der Sand, en dan 2 baie belangrike gaste, Johnny Koen, 2 keer voormalige Suid-Afrikaanse professionele kampioen, 12 rapporttoere agter sy blad waarvan hy 7 keer in die wenspan was, en saam met hom Phil Liggett, die wêreldbekende Britse fietsry kommentator. Kan Suid-Afrika vanjaar 'n wenner oplewer?
Well, David, I feel that the hometown advantage will be sufficient this year to see a local winner. Andrew McLean has the Belgian-South African mixed side with him. Whether they can assist him through the hills will have to remain to see, with the Belgians being expert flat riders. But the other team with a tremendous chance is the Willie Engelbrecht Southern Sons Mnet outfit. Engelbrecht's been devastating, and I believe he's the guy that can really do it. We're not too sure of the overseas riders, but far better equipped is Phil Liggett, the world's foremost English cycling commentator, and we have him right here with us. Phil, who do you think will win this one from the overseas contingency?
At this time of the year, Johnny, for all the Europeans, they're beginning their season. And, of course, this weather's going to be a shock to them because the snow of Austria and Germany and Russia, and now they're coming to warm weather. But, you know, you're right. McLean and Engelbrecht are the stars of Africa. But I really think that we're going to have some European riders here. It's the best field ever comes to South Africa. You've got, for example, a reigning Olympic champions. You've got past Olympic champions, past world champions. The Russian Valery Bachuro has won this morning. He starts in the yellow jersey. But, you know, he's a sprinter. And I think we must look to the Germans particularly, Mike Weissman, Thomas Lisa, to the British riders, Matt Illingworth and Steve Farrell. These are riders I think we'll be seeing. And most of all, the Australian team. This is the best Australian team possible, and I think that'll be a big challenge.
And the route this year, they race in quite easily with a couple of rolling stages, and then the second week becomes really difficult. When do you think the difference will be made in the tour?
The first 3 days there are no hills at all. It's very flat, it's open territory. The riders will welcome that to settle in and get to know each other in the big pack. I think that the riders who are going to win this tour, we will not see them too near the leaderboard until we move out to about stage 6. And then once we go into the mountains, then this will be a very tough race and very, very competitive.
And the Austrians and Germans have double teams, A's and B's. How will that affect the race?
Well, that's something everybody would like to know, because 2 teams, it can be a little unfairly balanced, because I think you can't, you know, you can expect 2 teams to combine when they're the same country. The referees will watch for that. They won't want to see it happen. It's against the rules. But I think it is an advantage that they will consider. And Germany is a very strong team.
Well, Valery Bachuro has won the opening prologue, but it's traditional in the country that you don't defend the prologue's yellow jersey by nature of the past races we've seen. Let's have a look and see. He sets off into 2 weeks of uncertain terrain and climate.
Na die straatmyl, die tweede skof wat begin op Kerkplein in Pretoria, 'n plat roete wat suidgevolg word deur Johannesburg, Alberton en Meyerton, 150 km en 4 snelpremies later, is dit die einde van die tweede skof. Vir kommentaar van Liggett en Johnny Koen.
And rolling away from Church Street this morning for the first time, a little slice of history for South Africa, a Russian rider riding in the leader's yellow jersey of a major international cycling event. The winner of the short sprint, and now he has to defend that jersey today as he races towards the end of the road, 150 plus kilometers away.
It's going to be rolling kind of hills with a flat finish at the end, and the riders set off at quite a pedestrian pace. I think they're summing up each other's chances before they get their teeth into the event.
Not surprisingly, Johnny, they're in no hurry. It's very, very humid all day. The Australian flag, well, up at Surfers Paradise in the Gold Coast, they're used to weather like this, and they're enjoying the day out. Willie Engelbrecht at the first hotspot sprint was looking for his teammate Franzi Kruger to lead him out. The first sprint of the day, 3 seconds, 2 seconds and 1 second time bonus on the route. and the two Southern Sun Mnet boys coming to the fore very, very quickly indeed. Engelbrecht making way there for his teammate Kruger to win the first 3-second bonus of the day.
Noureddin Harouchine of the Algerian team was the first attacker right outside of Megawatt Park, which is the hub of the electricity supply for South Africa. Went away and was caught soon afterwards.
The biggest lead he got, 25 seconds. Then the race moved on to the second hotspot sprint up to 57 kilometres. And again, it was a big battle with Southern Sun at the front. Mark Binneker, this time taking the 3 seconds ahead of Thomas Lisa, the former East German world champion, and Kurt Verleder was in third place. Well, there was great fear that when the race went through Johannesburg, there would be problems with the traffic, but one has to say the police did a magnificent job, and the race passed by safe and sound.
Lots of speculation about the traffic problems before the event, but it was a near-perfect scenario.
So after the capture of Harouchine of Algeria, it was the turn of South Africa to put a man out in front. Not surprisingly, through the big city, South African riders wanted to be seen at the front. This was Anton Duvenhagen, a rider well known in South Africa and indeed in his races abroad last year.
Rode the milk race last year, didn't go too well, but in South Africa's B team for the Momentum Report Tour, 21 years old, and the guy who had a stage win on his 21st birthday on the Handsome Cycle Tour last year.
It was a good move, it was worth the gamble, and very quickly coming up behind him, Michael Rick of the German team. Rick, a gold medalist in the Barcelona Olympic Games last year, and a handy ally on the long quest to win the stage. The two riders formed a friendship, and they worked together while the teams behind had to rally their thoughts. The gap was up to 2 minutes 30 seconds, and it was the Southern Sun team joining forces with the Russian riders at the front to try and reduce that gap.
They then got to the hotspot, 111 kilometers into the event. With Rick Duvenhagen going to sprint this one out for the valuable seconds that lay ahead. Rick goes on the outside, Duvenhagen on the inside, in the mud there. Rick just gets it ahead of Duvenhagen, but then disaster strikes.
Well, Rick was very, very lucky to win the 3 seconds time bonus because he knew already his back tyre was going down. He was flexing on the saddle there, he sensed it was going flat. And sadly for Duvenhagen too, because both riders were now in the sights of the chasing field. That big gap of 2 minutes and 30 seconds had tumbled down to just about 30 seconds at that sprint. Rick took the 3 seconds time bonus ahead of Duvenhagen, but Franzi Kruger was third across the line. He took a very valuable 1 second bonus. Then up come the service vehicle for Rick, and just watch the man on your left. Well, there are ways to get out of vehicles, and that isn't one of them, but the wheel is quickly out from Rick, and very quickly into is the service for the day.
That spelt the end for Anton Duvenhagen as well. Losing Rick in the break, who was obviously the impetus of the whole thing, that was the end of his chances.
So it wasn't a lucky day for South Africa or Germany on this occasion. They had done the right thing by attacking early on in the heat of the day when the riders were saying that because of the humidity they were having great difficulty in breathing. Certainly all of the Europeans today found the opening stage of the Momentum Rapport Tour very, very difficult indeed. But now they were all back together, but not for long.
The vital hotspot in Meerden comes up. They're 130 kilometers into the event, and the police escort gets in the way of Franzi Kruger and the two German companions Meyer and...
The man who had opened the attacking flap was Peschel. Peschel is at the back now as Meyer takes up the sprint here with Franzi Kruger. Kruger is turning out to be the big sprinter, well known throughout South Africa for the big sprint, and look at this. He goes clear again to take 3 very valuable small seconds time bonus, and now he has 7 seconds as he goes towards the finish. Kruger takes the sprint. He finishes there ahead of Christian Meyer, and in third place Uwe Peschel. There's Meyer, and there in the distance is Peschel. The gap is opening. The main field, we're not going to see these 3 riders again, but indeed 7 riders quickly formed at the front.
Franzi Kruger was there, as was Kurt Verleden, the ex-Belgian now racing for the Imperial team. Kamadulin, the Russian, was in there as well, Pavel, and Christian Meyer from Germany. Damien MacDonald, the Australian, and his teammate Brent Dennis made up the 7-man breakaway.
A very strong breakaway indeed as they come towards the finish now, and the sprint was on. Coming through on the outside with Damien MacDonald, but going through on the inside with the Russian rider. And then the Russian rider seems to sit up. He saw a flag, he stopped sprinting. He's made a mistake. It wasn't the finishing line. As the rest of the race goes on, Verleder goes through on the inside. Franzi Kruger, the expected winner, had to be content with 2nd place. MacDonald took 3rd, and Verleder, his first win of the season, and it was the best one for sure.
Old rivals Verleerden and Kruger, but the big loser in this one here was the Russian rider who comes up there, that's Kamadulin, sees the deviation flag about 150 meters before the finish, and if you see the flagman with red and white striped flag signaling the following vehicles off the course, he thinks that's the end, sits up when he thinks he's won the stage, then sees it's 150 meters to go. The ex-Belgian Kmes specialist, Kurt Verleerden, wins the stage in familiar fashion, but Phil spoke to Francie Kruger afterwards.
A perfect start, just what I think you anticipated today.
Yeah, well, like I say, my work is in the team to get the hot spots. Really helped me very well to get the first ones. Then towards the middle, they slowed down, and at the end I went for them again. That's how the break went on the end as well, with one of the hot spots.
Well, you've got the leader's yellow jersey, but in the end you were beaten by an old rival from South Africa in the sprint.
Yeah, you see, he just set my wheel, and I didn't have good legs towards the end, but there were 2 Aussies and 2 Germans, so I had to keep on rolling through, otherwise they would attack us. And towards the end I went too early. I gave it my best shot, and I didn't have the legs.
Now, can we see you defend your lead tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll try and keep it as long as possible. I don't want to go too hard for that. My main aim is hard spots, and I'll look after that.
So 2 South African professionals at the top of the leaderboard tonight. Francie Kruger ahead of Kurt Verleerden, with Damien MacDonald of Australia holding 3rd position, just 9 seconds back.
The points leadership also belongs to Francie Kruger of the Mnet Southern Suns team, Verleerden in 2nd, and Baturo, the prologue winner, in 3rd place.
And in the hotspot sprints competition, Francie Kruger had a great day, didn't he? Taking 11 points with Willy Engelbrecht 2nd overall in this competition. Now let's join Leon Landsberg.